I'd like to call this public meeting to order. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would everyone please remain standing for a moment of silent reflection for our servicemen and women throughout the world, and also for those who have passed away recently in our community. Let us also take a moment of silence this morning for all of the people in our community, in our country, and around the world who have passed away and who are suffering from the coronavirus. This pandemic has turned our world upside down, but we must remain hopeful and strong. We continue to pray for the doctors, nurses, researchers, and all medical professionals who seek to heal and help those affected and who put themselves at risk in the process. May they have protection and peace. Whether we are here at home or abroad, surrounded by many people suffering from this illness or only a few, let us stick together, endure together, mourn together, and in place of our anxiety, let us have hope and peace. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Schuster?
Present.
Mr. McAndrew?
Present.
Dr. Rothchild?
Here.
Mr. Donahue?
Here.
Mr. Gaughan?
Here. Please dispense with the reading of the minutes.
Third order, 3A, no business at this time. Fourth order, citizens' participation.
And the first speaker this morning is Joan Hodowanitz.
Scranton. First of all, I want to congratulate Mr. Gaughan on his 8 years of service. There were times when I didn't agree with all your decisions, although I usually did. I know other people sometimes had issues. But it takes of intestinal fortitude to stand up, run for election, speak your mind, and defend your position. And I congratulate you on 8 years of public service. Although, of course, we don't have the 2020 audit, but I won't hold that against you. I wish that you have a wonderful 2022 and that you do consider running for public office again. You have a lot to offer your community. I want to welcome Mr. King to City Council, and I congratulate Councilman Donahue and is it Councilman Schuster on your elections or your soon-to-be elections to President and Vice President of the Council. I was very pleased to see in the newspaper this morning, Mr. Donahue, that you pointed out one of your priorities will be regional stormwater management. And I do think that's going to take a lot of prior planning, and we're going to have to dig into that sooner rather than later. Also fiscal stability, which you got to kick those people about that 2020 audit, okay? We do this every year. We get a budget not based on an audit, and that's the cart before the horse. And it does have major implications for fiscal stability. Remember, everybody should be looking at the audits with a critical eye. No one ever caught the double pensions despite the city audits and even state audits. And that's what audits are designed to do. They're designed to detect error and fraud in financial accountability. So I congratulate you all on starting a new year. Mr. Gaughan, I wish you much success in whatever you decide to do in the future. Make sure your kids get to the library. And everybody have a happy new year. Thank you.
Thank you. You as well. That exhausts the sign-in sheet for this morning. Would anyone else like to address council at this time? Okay, thank you. Frank?
Fifth order, 5A, motions.
Councilman Schuster, any motions or comments this morning?
Yes, I'd just like to make a quick comment. So I'd like to bid farewell to President Gaughan. Congratulations on his 8 years of service. I'd like to thank Mr. Gaughan for his faith and support in me when I joined the council. And I'd like to say the 2 years I've spent with him on council have been a pleasure. I wish him luck in all his endeavors in the future, and he will be missed.
Thank you. Councilman McAndrew, any motions or comments?
Yes, I would definitely have a comment for you, Billy. It has been a true pleasure and honor to sit next to you on this day as a colleague of council. Your 8 years of fighting for all the constituents, stakeholders, and taxpayers of the city you've done a great job. And I'm very excited to look forward to seeing what your next chapter will be. So best of luck.
Thank you.
We'll miss you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Dr. Rothchild, any motions or comments?
Yes, of course. I, like everyone else, want to thank President Gaughan for all of your service to the city and to this council. I've learned a lot from you since I've been here. I've really enjoyed and had a pleasure working with you. I think we've had a great working relationship. I felt I could always call you and get the answers that I needed, or have a good conversation about legislation, or what we needed to do with the city. And I always believe that you had the city's best interest in mind, and I've just truly appreciated working with you, and hope it's not the last that we see you.
Thank you very much. Councilman Donahue?
Yes. I guess it was probably about 8 years ago when we first started to get to know each other. We became friends since. You inspired me to run for this office 4 years ago. I'm here because of you. I've learned from you. The city is better off because of your service, so thank you for your service to the city, and your family should be proud.
Thank you very much. Well, good morning, everyone. This is the last meeting of the year for me, and I want to thank everybody for the kind words today. I appreciate them very much. I have so many people that I'd like to thank, and I have to start with the people to the left and to the right of me. It's been a pleasure to work with Councilman Schuster, Councilman McAndrew, Dr. Rothchild, and Councilman Donahue. For the past 2 years, we have worked very closely together on various matters of great importance to the city, including the last 2 budgets. And there may have been disagreements, but never any hostility. And I think that is the mark of a good and a strong council. We worked very closely, really hand in hand with one another. I want to congratulate Councilman Donahue on becoming the president in a few short moments. Heavy lies the crown. Don't throw the gavel at anybody. But good luck, Kyle. You will make a great president of council. I want to also congratulate Councilman McAndrew on becoming the vice president, and I think he'll do a fine job as well. I also have to thank our city clerk, Frank Voldenberg, who has done a phenomenal job in the last few months since he took over. As I was telling his wife before the meeting, and she knows this, from his experience raising 4 daughters. When he first came in, I came in like a bat out of hell, and he was very calm and cool and collective, as he always is, but he's a gentleman, and Frank, thank you. You did a very nice job, and I'm glad to see that you're going to be serving the next 2 years as well. I also have to thank our staff. Kathy Carrera, who was with us for the last 8 years and has been in this office for a very long time, did a phenomenal job. I also have to thank Allison Herbster, who started recently and who has also done a very nice job. Our council solicitor, Kevin Hayes, who will no longer be with us, he did a very nice job and worked very hard. And it's clear, and I knew Kevin before he took over, but he has a great passion and a great love for this city, and I want to thank him for his work. As I did at our last meeting in December, I want to thank our former city clerk, Lori Reed, who was with me for 7.5 years. I cannot state to you how great she was as a city clerk, and she was able to keep me in line, which is very, very hard to do. But she really was just one of the classiest, most professional people that I have ever worked with. And she was respected by not just this council, but everyone in this building, and it was an honor to work with her. I also want to congratulate incoming Councilman Bill King, who will be here in a little bit. It's weird how life comes full circle. Mr. King was my principal at South Intermediate many moons ago, and when I knew him when he was a principal, when I was in 6th and 7th grade, he was a true gentleman and a true professional, and showed me really how you can make your mark in education, which is one of the reasons why I went into teaching. So it's kind of funny how it does come full circle. Now he'll be taking my seat on council, and I want to thank him and congratulate him. I also want to thank Mayor Cognetti and her administration. The mayor and I had a very good working relationship over the last 2 years, and I certainly appreciated her willingness to attend council meetings, which was in the past not done, if at all. So I really did appreciate that. When I decided to run for council 9 years ago, and I ran alongside Joe Wexler, who's here today, who I want to acknowledge. Councilman Wexler and I worked very closely together, and I really appreciated and enjoyed working with him. When we ran together 9 years ago, I was extremely fortunate, as I know Councilman Wexler was, in having the backing of my entire family, which you really need to run for office in a city of our size. And the first person that I need to thank is my wife, Kelly, who is here today in the audience with our children, Jack and Murphy. She is an amazing mother to our 4 children, Jack, Murphy, Maeve, and Mary, and needless to say, it's been quite a ride over the last 8 years. She has been the backbone behind every single move I've made, and we had an awful lot of fun campaigning together throughout the city and getting to know the people of our city. So, Kelly, I want to thank you very much for all that you did. And it's funny, as I was coming here this morning, I was thinking every major moment in my life so far, getting married in 2014, having 4 children, occurred while I was on council. So it's an odd moment to sit up here, very strange to be leaving. I have to thank my parents, Jack and Marie Gaughan. I am so blessed to have such great parents. I could have never, ever served in this position without their backing. And they always taught me that no matter what, if you can help someone, help them. And that's the unique thing about this position. We vote on legislation all the time, but really it's the phone calls that you get from people who may not know how to get in contact with somebody at City Hall, may not have the wherewithal, and you help them. And that's really been the most gratifying experience, is being able to help people. I know it's kind of cliche to say that, but it is the truth. That's the thing that makes this job worth it, and that's one of the lessons that they taught me. If somebody is in need and you can do something for them, help them. So the lessons that I learned from them growing up have shaped who I am today. I also have to thank my brother Eddie, my right-hand man, who's in the audience today. We were almost fighting each other on Cedar Avenue during both campaigns, putting signs up. But he's helped me. I can't even say how much he's helped me in both of my campaigns and with everything that I do. The same thing with my sister Katie, my brother Jackie, and my sister Kelly. They've been phenomenal. I am very fortunate to have wonderful aunts and uncles. Again, there is no way I could have won office without their support. So I want to thank my aunt Ann, Peggy, Kathy, Pat, Maureen, Linda, and Benita. And I want to thank my uncles Jerry, John, and Billy. My uncles have helped me immensely. I can remember in both campaigns going door to door with my Uncle John, which was half the stories I can't tell here on council, but it was very, very interesting experience going door to door with them. But we had a lot of fun and a lot of laughs. And because of their reputation in the community, that helped me an awful lot. So I want to thank them so much. And also my Uncle Billy, who has passed away, and my Uncle Jim Gaughan, always big supporters of mine in West Scranton. All of my cousins, who I can't name all of them or we'll be here for another 2 hours, but they know who they are, and each one of them helped in their own way. And finally, I want to thank my grandparents, who are no longer with us, but my grandparents, Helen and Edward Trentley, and Elizabeth and William Gaughan. As I mentioned at the last meeting in December, my grandma was always involved in politics, both sets of my grandparents. But my grandmother, Helen Trentley, really pushed me to get involved in public service along with my parents. Her father stood at that podium in the 30s and 40s and fought on behalf of the Southside Surface Protective Association when the homes in Southside and Minooka were falling into the mines, and really started the effort with many other people in South Scranton and Minooka. And hearing those stories led me to want to get involved and help the people of our city. And I only wish that she was here to see the last 8 years, because it was a very gratifying experience. And finally, I want to thank all the people who volunteered on my 2 campaigns. There's so many people. 2 in particular I want to mention. The first one is a good friend of mine. He was my treasurer on both of my campaigns, still is my treasurer, and that man is Jerry Ariema. I was hired in the Office of Economic and Community Development, I think back in 2011, and Jerry was working there and was one of the first people that I had ever met in city politics or city government. Took me under his wing. First thing he did was take me to the Victor Alfier dinner. If I had my first plate of polenta, which as an Irishman, I had no idea what that was. But he was a true gentleman, helped me, took me around, introduced me to people, and I'll never forget his help. And the second person I want to mention who has been one of my biggest supporters, who I have not seen in a while because of COVID, is Leo D'Angelo. We all know Leo D'Angelo up here on council, and many of you in the audience. He's the owner of LaSalle's in South Scranton. He has been an unbelievable friend of mine. I'll never forget going into his shop. I didn't know him. My uncles knew him. And until that time, I really didn't wear suits. He gave me my first suit and took care of me, really, and was a huge supporter. Anybody that came into his shop, he asked them to support me. So Leo and his family and his wife, Rita, I want to thank them. It's, as I said, very strange to sit up here for the final time after being in these chambers every week for the last 8 years, and it did seem to go by within the blink of an eye. It's been one of the greatest honors of my life to serve the people of the city in this position. I want to thank all of you for giving me this opportunity. I've met so many wonderful people throughout our city, and serving on council has only made me love this city even more than I already did. We have so much to be proud of and so much to look forward to. Being in this position has made me realize that the strength of our city, the backbone of our city, is in our neighborhoods. It is very rare to go anywhere else in the United States of America and find neighborhoods that are as strong and tight-knit as ours are in the city of Scranton. And we must continue to invest in the neighborhoods and our parks and make sure that they are safe and clean. Through the years, I've also come to really appreciate the importance of this body, City Council, and this position. You can make a difference in this position, which I think we've seen, each one of us has seen firsthand over the last number of years. In my view, an effective council is one that is always willing and ready to work with the mayor, but not afraid to ask the difficult questions and to function as the citizens' watchdog, making sure that City Hall is being held accountable and working for every single Scrantonian. Sometimes being in this position, being in this oversight role, does not win you any friends, as I found out the hard way over the last 8 years, and it can be very uncomfortable at times, but it is necessary to ensure that our city government is acting in the best interests of our citizens. Finally, I want to wish this council, the mayor, and citizens of Scranton a happy and healthy new year, and I look forward to helping our city in any way that I can in the future, and I want to thank you, and God bless you. Frank?
5B, no business at this time. 6th order, 6A, no business at this time. 7th order, 7A, no business at this time.
If there's no further business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.